Where do I begin with what Krishnaveni teacher meant to me? I was so young when I started to learn to dance, and I'll never forget before I became her student, being in Kalakshetra and watching her on stage and watching her perform and seeing that grace, that elegance, that power. For such a petite person, the way she would just cover a stage, just literally seem to fly, was utterly extraordinary. And the precision of her footwork, the grace of her hands, the dexterity, the flexibility, the absolute incredible capacity to tell stories in volumes just through her eyes and expressions, extraordinary. And then I was lucky enough to become her student. I was perhaps 8 years old when I started going to her, and my tutelage continued till I was almost 22 years old. But she was so much more than just my dance teacher. She was my home. I would often, especially on weekends, when I had time, not just go for my dance class, which would be either from 3 to 4 or 4 to 5. I would go a good an hour, 2 hours ahead of time. Sometimes after class, I would stay on for an hour or two. And that I started doing more and more as I got older. I would actually just spend hours with her in the garden or in the house. Sometimes not even talking, just watching her go about doing her thing. And, she just accepted that I was in her house. And it was this extraordinary feeling of love and family. Um, when it came to dance and the way she taught you, the patience, the perseverance, the practice, the dedication, the fact that she could do everything she was asking you to do and would get up and demonstrate that about 100 times better than you could ever conceive yourself doing, made all the difference. She wasn't just telling you do this or do that, unable to do it herself. Not only could she do it, she could do it about a thousand times better and faster and more gracefully and more elegantly, and that inspired you know students to kind of do better. I truly understood only when I was with her what it meant to have a guru, because it wasn't just about dance or learning how to dance. I learned so much from her about life. From when I was a child, there was nothing that I could say or thought about or spoke about that she didn't pay attention to and make me feel like everything I was saying and doing was important, which helped so much and grow my confidence, because there was this wonderful adult whom I adored so much, who paid so much attention to what I had to say and what I was doing and was always interested in everything. And she loved animals as much as I did. And that was also a wonderful, wonderful connect to have with her. The other thing I really appreciated and loved about her was that fundamentally at heart, she was a theosophist. So there was a certain irreverence to her in the way she looked at things. And she didn't, unlike a lot of people at the time when I was growing up in Chennai, comment on behavior or what I was wearing or how I should conduct myself in that sense. Of course, she taught me to always be graceful and kind and elegant and compassionate, and to respect everybody for their opinions and backgrounds and not ever be rude or disrespectful. But she encouraged questioning and she encouraged individuality and she encouraged being independent and being a strong woman. My teacher was a quiet feminist herself. It broke my heart when I first heard about her being sick, and I remember visiting her, and there was such strength and acceptance and grace in how she was coping with everything, and that was also so absolutely wonderful. And even when I left Chennai and moved to Delhi and went away for many years, and sometimes would go a whole year without seeing her, there wasn't a single day when she wasn't in my mind or in my heart, as she is to this day, because there are still times when I come across something or I see something or read something or experience something, or I'm in a situation and I find myself thinking, oh, what would teacher say, or how would teacher react to this? And I find myself having these little conversations with her in my head, and it's wonderful, it's comforting. And to know that someone was there who loved me and whom I loved so much, it's such a gift. It is such a gift that the universe actually gives you. And it's because of Krishnaveni teacher that I really understood. And it was really because of her that I truly understood what it means, that old saying, Mata Pita Guru Devam, because really in my world and in my hierarchy, she was exactly like that. In fact, she was on par with my parents for me, in how she nurtured and taught me. And all those wonderful hard dance classes in the heat and in the rain, and when I was tired and impatient, and where she would just look at me and be like, no, you can do this. And the most fantastic thing about her was when she taught you to do something, you pretty much know that you were going to do it simply because she would get up and demonstrate it and do it about 1,000 times better than you could, and faster than you could, and more elegantly than you ever could. And it kind of inspired you to do better. So, all in all, I would say that she was a great inspiration, a great love in my life. And I wouldn't have the life that I have and be the person that I am without her, really. So I miss her every day, but she's a part of everything that I do, and I consider myself infinitely blessed to have had her in my life.